got some sweet gifts out of that game. We're back as well, and the players prep now for the next match. It's 100 Thieves versus Counterlogic Gaming. With playoffs on everyone's mind, CLG are attempting to finish what has been an astronomical bounce back from their spring split finish. That 7th place now all the way up to a playoff bye and potentially first. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, a win guarantees them that playoff bye. And on the other side, 100 Thieves, they're playing for their playoff lives. A win here keeps them alive, but in order to advance to the playoffs, they need to win additional tiebreakers later. So it is a long road ahead for 100 Thieves, who has made significant improvements since their mid-split roster swaps, but still a lot to go. The simplest way you can put it is, if they don't win this one, their year's over.
Their year is over. We have to see the craftiest of the Thieves we have seen yet here. The 7-10 100 Thieves going against Counterlogic Gaming at 12-5. And CLG continues to have a fantastic split. Looking at Wiggily on that mark, we heard all the players talking about it, mostly Stixxay yesterday as well, saying never really seen that kind of maturity change in a player throughout a season.
Yeah.
And it's definitely where a lot of the power is coming from for CLG on the Rift.
Yeah, huge amount of growth in that top side of the map. Ruin and Wiggily have been very good together. Also, I'm going to pay a little bit more attention in this draft phase to specifically how Counterlogic drafts around their solo lanes. Even in post-game interviews, Stixxay says, yeah, that game we just tried to pick 3 winning lanes and then snowball the victory. That they're trying to keep it simple in a way, even though in keeping it simple, it ends up sometimes being very complicated game states, because that doesn't mean they're drafting for team fighting or split push. They're just saying, well, actually, if we get everyone ahead, we're good.
And we then have to find that ahead moment and use it correctly. That's one of the things they've been great on, as well as kind of finishing out their games. Here we are in the picks now. Priority for 100 Thieves. They have taken the Azir out. Could still get a Corki on the other side of the Rift, but we've seen a few matchups against that Corki does not like. We've seen Kaisa being brought to the mid lane and Academy for that style of Yasui. And it's a Sejuani locked in. Keeping it a big for Amazing. He can get the ganks in early and get a fight on if he wants to. I like it.
I think that's a very strong pick for Amazing. Probably his best jungler. It is his most picked. It's also something 100 Thieves has picked up 4 of their 7 wins on. You could potentially argue that it would have been worthy of a ban for CLG, but they are not that worried about it. And a Tahm Kench game for Biofrost.
The Frost Kench. Who would have thought? Definitely knows the outs or ins and outs of that champion. Pushing it to the limits. Wiggily has the ability to go all in now. They lock in the Jarvan. A smile on his face. You know, it's going to be a pretty good game. Both junglers, Sejuani and Jarvan, in their wheelhouses, so we should get great play out of that.
I would not rule out a Sona Tahm lane from Counterlogic Gaming. Even though the Sona priority has dropped a huge amount, the last time they played Tahm Kench was the first time they won with Tahm Kench, and was also with Sona. That was their win against Cloud9, actually. But against a Pyke, maybe a little bit less willing to go for it, and it's an early Pyke lock, but aphromoo definitely looking to take some control of this game, unless that's a AD Pyke that they put with the support. That's still possible.
Could be.
Nope. And it's not. It is now no longer possible.
There you go. I like this, though. aphromoo had a bit of a rough game yesterday, not really respecting ranges or kind of the situation of a play, so now he gets to go in and make a point of what he wants to do. You're right, Chad. The Sona does get locked in. I kind of have like a sigh on that, because it isn't the game we got last game. Hey, who knows? Maybe they go crazy and they play music all bot lane long, so we can hear that grand crescendo playing out. But Tahm Kench Sona will see that pretty safe down there for the side of Counterlogic Gaming, especially on the red side. So they'll just be taking the ricochets of Sivir to start off. Second phase of bans, what will be the priority for 100 Thieves? They can still look at that mid lane in PowerOfEvil or Ruin, who's done a lot of work for CLG.
I think this puts 100 Thieves in quite a predicament, because you would want to ban Corki, because Corki is the mid laner that PowerOfEvil is probably going to pick right away. But 100 Thieves also wants to play Corki because they have Ryu. So are they willing to risk PoE not playing Corki, because Ryu has 7 games on it? His next most played is Victor at 2.
That's why they banned the Azir, right? They're like, hey, you don't want that. We've taken the combo out.
But putting a marksman mid when you have the Sona Tahm is one of the best things you can do.
Sivir mid.
So CLG putting 100 Thieves in some tight binds.
Definitely taking their time. The Aurelia Aatrox are taken away from FakeGod.
They do it. They ban the Corki.
Yeah.
They had to do it. It's too big of a it's too obvious of a pick for CLG if it's left open. But yeah, that pushes Ryu's champion pool down quite a bit.
Such a good pick too, even if for laning you get the Corki in the side, you have Sona to sustain the team while you have the 4-1, or even if you split it more depending on what goes top. How do CLG do it? They're always good at the 1-3-1, so we may find something to that coming to fruition, but it's the Kennen getting locked in for Ruin in the top lane. Love seeing that champion, especially from Ruin.
Yeah, actually fairly likely we get one of the full-on hit Kennens as well, with the tweaks to some of his scaling to be a little bit less good early and a little bit better late as far as auto attack growth. We've seen an uptick in the number of AD Kennens in pro play. That's a very interesting Akali pick as well. Akali's been seeing a little bit of a success, some success cases recently in the LCS with Huni, and then we saw a very strong game from Dokla just now.
It's kind of a flex at the end when you want to, not so much now as their last two picks, so you know where they're going at 20 seconds. But yeah, the Akali has been great. You have a potential. I think you feel like it has that comeback potential. You find the kills. We've seen Bjerg do it, but man, you got to be going at 1,000% if you're going to play like that. Gangplank is locked in for FakeGod. On that top side, looks like Ryu could be getting crazy on the Akali in the mid lane. And now we have something here for the Zillion, possibly. Definitely some awesome Zillions here in the LCS along the way of Jensen, Bjerg. Zazel's got a pretty sick Zillion. And what do we have? A LeBlanc coming in?
Yeah.
I feel like that assassination versus assassination gives both teams that potential to just wow you, and it will be locked in. The LB versus Akali in the mid lane. This should be great.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like CLG is picking 4 lanes in this game. The LeBlanc against the Akali now, if you land your chains, it will reveal Akali in Shroud because it's no longer that, what was it, obscurity mechanic, and now it's just invisibility like everything else. So Kennen also going to look to push in, and I've heard a lot of different opinions on Sona Tahm Kench. I think in a straight 2v2, it's fine. It's just still on average, the Sona Tahm Kench lane does fall behind on gold, but that's often because teams crash ganks bottom lane, and I think that's what 100 Thieves is going to look to do. They have the GP top lane. He can arrive without actually going there with the teleport, and then Sej Akali are well positioned to go there as well. So bottom lane could be a battlefield here in this matchup.
I am excited. You got the 2 Bilgewater guys down here in Tahm Kench and Pyke. Looks like they're going to get pretty dirty. I just see these guys leaving the house in the morning, and they both walk out the front door and look over at each other like, yeah, I'll see you later in the bot lane. It's going to be great. Pyke and Tahm Kench with Biofrost and aphromoo down there. Bang gets Sivir, and we will have Sona on the other side for Stixxay. So we'll wait to see if they do get that jungle attention. We are going to have Amazing on the Sejuani and Wiggily on the Jarvan. So definite engages coming from these two, and we'll have to see how it plays out. Your solo lanes are going to be that LB versus Akali in mid of PowerOfEvil and Ryu. Ryu taking the Akali, and we'll see if he can put that pressure down for 100 Thieves to keep them alive. And you got Gangplank versus that Kennen in the top. FakeGod's Gangplank versus the Ruin Kennen. We are on the rifts, and we're going to see if CLG can push themselves forward to find that buy, or if it's 100 Thieves that can keep themselves alive.
Yeah, I am very curious to see how aggressively the CLG solo lanes are able to play in this game. They essentially have stronger lane matchups in both lanes, even if the GP was picked into the Kennen. Expect Ruin to have a lot of early push priority there.
Everybody's got ants in their pants here, week 9, day 2. Just doing the dances everywhere. It's good. Keep moving. Very, very tentative pushing here. Not even forward wards going towards the Raptor pits. Amazing might look to get one a little later here.
Yeah, 100 Thieves has not had good early games by and large, but as far as the overall game sense, they're quite good. Yep. So when I look at gold graphs through every game, 100 Thieves actually looks like one of the most consistent teams in terms of being able to see if they will win or not around 15 minutes. If they're winning, they're almost certainly going to close it out. And if they're losing, they're somewhat likely, but not very likely to come back. CLG ended up being a little bit more variant, which I think does speak to kind of the styles the teams are playing. CLG is just playing for lanes. Sometimes their compositions don't necessarily have that Exodia type, whoa, we turned on, so it worked.
Everybody's ready.
Yeah, whereas I think 100 Thieves is actually a little bit different, where they say, okay, let's pick scaling, let's make sure we have a good team fight, let's make sure we can get mid-priority late game, let's make sure we have good Baron control. So if they can get out of the early game with all those conditions met, usually they're in a pretty good position to win. And here, if GP gets late game, if Sej has the initiations, they'll have the Sivir coming in with Pyke engage. It's a good comp for 100 Thieves, it's just about getting there.
We'll see how they're feeling right now as we have the Tigress stage side with Probably for an interview.
Well, speaking about the comp, I did ask Probably specifically about the mid lane matchup, and he feels confident in this matchup considering that POV seems to particularly do well on the control mages, so hopefully being able to shut down PowerOfEvil right off the bat. Also in terms of how they're feeling going into this, all the teams that need to win other than 100 Thieves have been doing so they feel that it's all in their hands. But let's hear more about the game.
Thank you very much. They do seem confident. Obviously, Probably's had a good switch around for the team recently as top lane hits, and this would be great for the coach to see as his new jungler comes up with first blood. An amazing Tet walks away with that on Sejuani.
Very solid first 3 minutes by Amazing right there. Going all the way back to the blue buff attempted steal. Amazing was calm, cool, and collected, getting the blue buff secure, and here, watch the way he positions his W. Basically, trying to predict a flash, which holds Ruin's Kennen there for a longer period of time. So post-flash, they can still get the stun. Then he flashed in for the final auto to get that kill. And here's a little bit of aggression mid, but once again, Amazing would be here for the counter. So's Afro.
Afro is roaming up now. It's going to be a 3v2. Wiggily sees that quickly. And they just missed the Bone Spear on getting Wiggily back into that fight. A lot of action already to start off game 2.
Yeah, 100 Thieves coming here to play, wanting to get that good early game off the board. Early game does extend beyond the first blood, though. Definitely continues, but definitely a skill matchup mid, even if I feel like it is the LeBlanc favorite.
I remember a stat a few weeks ago, we got 400 Thieves, all of their pre-15-minute kills, not all, sorry, about 60% of them come from this bot lane. I'm sure that's changed since, it's been a few weeks, but that's awesome to see that they're heading top, kind of switching up the way that they play it. You get catching Ruin off guard there, flash and teleport down now, so give FakeGod a little bit of love to start, and he's going to be using that accordingly.
Yeah, flash for nothing, able to still be sitting on his potions. FakeGod no longer getting pressured. That's a very comfortable place for GP to move up towards 6, and that doesn't mean that Amazing can't put attention towards bottom side now. He's going to walk through ward and hope to get at least a flash. That might be a
nice Devour, but how far out? Devour flash. Oh, one flash. He actually doesn't go that far.
Okay.
It was not. I apologize. It was not a flash. Writing him down.
Yeah, it's difficult to gank that Tahm Kench.
Got a movement there.
Yeah, they actually save heal as well. It pushes them off the wave. They'll definitely cut into Stixxay's mana pool a little bit, but Thieves would have hoped for a little bit more there, but still gets the wave pressure.
Good pressure onto Ryu. Again, Amazing. Back and forth. Quick distortion out. As everybody's getting a little bit of love here from Amazing. Back and forth, staying omnipresent on the map. First blood is keeping him ahead as well so he can do these things. Little ping pong with Stixxay as he gets thrown back and forth here with Devour and Bone Spear.
Yeah, we'll have to keep track of how close Stixxay is to converting that support item. Only 174 gold earned so far. He's got to get that up to a completed Frostfang so he can start CSing for the Sona Tahm Kench. But overall, their CS actually is fine when you add up the Sona Tahm Kench, keeping the gold close. If you sum the two, 3,000 versus 3,000 in the bot lane.
Looks good. See what they come back with. Bang, teleporting back into lane to keep pushing that into the wave. They have a bit of a mismatch on that bot lane for CLG, and Stixxay teleports back in to fix that right as rain. And we will have the Executioners calling nice and fast, making sure they can't get too many heals and safety plays on that bot red side now from CLG. Just about 6 minutes in, a little bit of jungler knowledge going back and forth as they are now privy to where each other are. Turret shot for FakeGod. not use that demolish on the turret just yet, but it is called quite a bit of attention towards topside. Ruin could be going down for a second time. The team's not in range to help him, but now it's got to be 100 Thieves making a perfect escape on this one. Teleport coming towards the top side. I believe that's going to be Ryu, and he is in the mix. FakeGod takes a turret shot with aggression there. Amazing almost goes down, gets the save on that one, and now they are alive, but they still have to make it out. Oh, speared down with a standard from Wiggily. That's why they banned lawn darts, and now it's PowerOfEvil trying to get a kill up onto here. It's FakeGod going down, and now a 2-2 as we keep going back and forth.
Yeah, that play is definitely advantage CLG. 100 Thieves ended up going a little bit too deep on that dive, and it took them a little bit too long to finish off Ruin that they were overcommitted. Wiggily also able to avoid the stick-around assassination by Ryu, who never got an opportunity to use his Akali ult up in that fight.
Absolutely crazy. Everybody's kind of leaving lane. Not too much of a CS discrepancy here as well. Ryu doesn't get turned about with that. He's not able to get an assist either, so he's just there. We'll see this party one more time on the top side, all in favor of Ruin.
Yeah, FakeGod got him very low, but ended up having to flash back away from Wiggily, which leaves Amazing in here. And actually, FakeGod taking that one turret shot as he walked through, very unfortunate for him because that puts him a little bit more in execute range. Nice lawn dart by Wiggily at the end, and just a clean execute for PoE's LeBlanc.
One kill. He'd love to get going a little bit more here so he can assassinate that back line. It might be tough. Hard to find Akali with that. Yes, true sight is given to you now through your chain, but the other members of the team are not going to pop so easily with your LeBlanc. Big fight towards the bot. Bang in a bad spot here, but they are now inside tracked by aphromoo. That's the devour they needed. Glacial Prison comes out. Stixxay's going to flash forward. Biofrost now left out to dry, and he is going to get taken down quick by 100 Thieves. That's a kill for Ryu. Now that roaming pays off for him.
Yeah, and that's the crash bot lane you want to do against a Sona Tahm Kench. If you can actually get an advantage in that lane, it stops the Sona from being able to proc Frostfang and will delay the gold generation of that build.
Ooh.
So they pull off the dragon, but potentially worth it because of the delay they put in that bottom lane and the kill they picked up.
So you're going to get that teleport basically out of Biofrost anyways, whether it's to that second tier or the first. Unsealed Spellbook change as now we go back to Drake. Quick hit onto the scuttle. Nicely done. So now they don't have to get it right now, but they have vision of what's going on. 100 Thieves with a nice pace here against Counterlogic Gaming in a very necessary game.
Yeah, attention up towards FakeGod has been in control of that lane ever since Amazing's early game gank. It's important that once you are put ahead by your jungler, you're able to make that gank worth it, and it's not just an aberration of some early game gold that doesn't go anywhere. However, the Ocean Drake actually becomes a bit of a meme for CLG. PowerOfEvil loves getting early game Ocean Drake. He thinks it just makes his lane amazing, which it does. But watching this one more time, everyone commits for the Tahm Kench. Ryu, though, unable to actually get that kill. I think 100 Thieves, if they're going to commit that many ultimates and flashes and delay the Ocean Drake, would have wanted to pick up two or be able to choose the pressure for the Ocean Drake later. So if you sum up everything, I think CLG getting killed once for Ocean Drake, especially with Sona and the mana concerns you run into on that champ, makes it worth it for CLG.
Looking for a second plate here, but it doesn't look like they'll have the waves. Got to watch that ricochet. They'll draw aggro from the turret. Bang knows his distance. And we were talking about this before. You said FakeGod pushing that lead. It becomes really hard for Kennen at all if you start to fall behind. Your health bar just gets depleted by parlays or whoever else you're in lane with. You really only trade if you have your electric surge to get back, or rush, I should say, to get to safety. He has teleport up and a big wave to clean up here, so things are looking good for the time being for Ruin. May not get too much attention from Wiggily as they're focusing on the other side of the map. One kill for Wiggily, one kill for PowerOfEvil. I'm sure they'd love to get those two going even more, as Wiggily has been such a force to get these fights started and confidence for CLG. Rift Herald is going to be traded over for 100 Thieves now, as they did not get that Ocean Drake, but they may find some plates now.
Yeah, they'll have plenty of time to try and find a good use for this Rift Herald charge. It'll be interesting to see if Amazing tries to use it in soul lane or take down those 3 remaining plates bot lane to also get first turret. Since they have been able to keep CLG's bottom lane starved of summoner spells, there is a lot of threat towards that bottom side if they choose to use it.
This is great to see. Get Ruin a little bit more gold. I figure Wiggily would be towards the bot side of the map, but when you have a big AoE ultimate, you can definitely take down your opponent with that CC. It's going to be hard on FakeGod with his grasp and his oranges, they make everything K. And you can see FakeGod's not buying it. He says, you're playing different. I can read this. Kind of getting aggressive here.
Yeah. It's just because he has a Vamp Scepter, Riv. He's just feeling the power.
So angry. Every time he comes out of a lightning rush, he attacks so fast.
Nice trade there by PoE to get Electrocute inside the Shroud of Akali.
Oh, he wants to back, but they're pinging FakeGod. He's like, please don't leave. We need this. FakeGod's super safe right now. And a lot of the times we've seen FakeGod, even the younger players coming into the LCS, be very good at absorbing the pressure, not worrying about the lane, kind of just having a lot of problems going early. Good flashes, good plays. I missed on the ult there from Sejuani, but absorbing it and then being cheeky, lose lane, win game. We've seen kind of that class coming from FakeGod, but he can do it over and over again. That consistency pays off to having a top lane.
Yeah, FakeGod built in the memes, understands how to utilize them to his full potential.
True.
But does need to hold on to this lane, right? They killed Ruin twice, and now Ruin is actually starting to get some pressure in this lane back. HCS. FakeGod was respecting the gank, and that's usually the position the team puts him in. Now that his ultimate is back up, I do really want to see 100 Thieves make a play in the bottom lane. Go for the kill. The summoner spells aren't quite back up for COD's bottom lane. They get a kill, they can crash 1, maybe 2 turrets. The time is now. They have 30 seconds to make this gank work if they still want to get the plate gold.
Absolutely. Rift Herald is there, and it looks like they are headed for it, chat. They're going to put this off in the distance, so they know it's going to be coming up. Absolutely. They have the word there.
Okay.
There's a good eye on that, and I don't know how much rotation you get. Wiggly's still about 5 seconds out from the turret, so pressure's going to be there with the minion wave, and definite plate cash in. Not sure if it's going to be a full turret, though, with CLG's movement.
CLG might look to fight this. Ruin has teleport. If 100 stick around... All right, maybe not. The threat is there, though, which keeps the turret alive.
With no eyes currently on PowerOfEvil. Might have been a bit tentative of going with Shelly there. And it looks like they'll be able to grab the turret, though. No pressure towards top to make sure that's a trade. And first turret here to 100 Thieves, so they can set pace on where to go next.
Yeah, so keeping themselves in the game.
In the league.
Up until 14 minutes, they get the final plate as well. Do have to worry about Sona, though. Stixxay did just turn on as far as getting his warding item online. He can now start CSing to work towards a high-income Sona.
I think you're happy here as CLG that you didn't die in the 3 ganks that were flashes, devours, and you having to get out of 100 Thieves' grip. So great job there. Clone pull. And now back to wards. aphromoo maybe still looking for plays here. Biofrost was expecting it. He said aphromoo may come over the wall and go back for you, so I will stop that. Make sure you can't dive under and get a sneaky engage as well. Everybody's starting to focus on mid. Even with the 1 turret down, they just want to make sure they're okay. And more harass coming from the side of 100 Thieves. The more they can whittle down CLG, the better it is that they can start peppering this turret and really giving themselves a bit of room to put those forward wards. You can already see one snuck in there right by Stixxay that they did not see.
Yeah, this is where 100 likes to be in a game. They're not behind. They can start getting mid priority. They use that to move out towards objectives, and they still have competent side lane champions in the Akali and the GP if they need to go catch waves later. But getting that Infernal, very good if 100 Thieves wants to keep their season alive.
Nice damage for FakeGod. Ryu putting some ricochet damage in there. And you were talking a bit before is the 100 Thieves may have a small lead at any point in their game, but they're able to keep that lead. They're able to keep pushing.
Yeah, this would give them a fairly high win probability based off of their history this split and how generally good they are in the mid to late game. But also, they're up against CLG, who is a very good team. If CLG wins this, they lock themselves a playoff bye and keep the possibility of first place alive. If CLG loses this game, then we'll see a tiebreaker for that playoff bye between CLG and C9. So lots of exciting League of Legends left.
Absolutely. So many new faces all around, too. You look at the CLG team, and you have Stixxay and Biofrost that are now the longest standing members. Things are taking a change as well, but it's awesome to see these teams that have been here for so long right back at the top of the list again. And CLG is one of those. Boys in blue pretty much back. We have a few boys in blue now with the teams.
Blue's a good color.
It is. Apparently brings the victory and puts the W's in that left column. 3-2, very low kill game compared to our last. His teams are a bit tentative when you're kind of having your season on the line, as well as one of the best placements you've had in a few seasons on the line in terms of CLG.
Yeah, last game with C9 kind of pushed the limits for what we see in pro games, where we couldn't even run replays before another kill was happening. The pacings and standards we've set were defied in that game. Oh. Anyway, FakeGod and Amazing. Bring around the Rosie with Ruin.
Yeah, they went all the way around. He's just going to lightning rush to safety. A bit of a dodge. He's looking for that Glacial Prison to come out. It's going to be a face plant. One last shot, get the parlay in. And they are going to get the kill onto Ruin. He's had a rough game. It's 0-3-1 now, but he has had a lot of pressure to create that game rough from 100 Thieves. They have just been applying it over and over.
Yeah, and it's going to be a tricky game for Ruin to play from here on out. Oftentimes, if you're going with that type... Oh, watch this.
Little disrespect.
A solo kill from the Sona. Former laning partners, Stixxay and aphromoo.
Some days support's not so easy, man.
Oh, look out.
Whoa, there's the Devour coming up. Ryu could go for the perfect execution. What a Zanyas. Is it going to be enough? Ryu takes another shot. Biofrost takes him down, and 100 Thieves reach way too far.
Several outplays by CLG, Stixxay and Biofrost in particular to keep him alive here. And they're just going to try and play this one forward.
It's cascading, Chad. That's what happens. You lose a little bit of ground, and any position you're in at that point becomes very dangerous. That was cross-map plays, and 3 members of 100 Thieves have gone down.
Yeah, gold now straight even after Ruin fell in that top lane. Still going to be difficult for Kennen to get back into the game, because oftentimes the Blade of the Ruin King Kennen needs to have an advantage in order to push an advantage, since he's not a great team fighting champion. But man, the failed dive twice on Stixxay, doubling down on this one. So let's watch how it happens at first. It looks like Afro gets in turret range, misses the hook, immediately ulted by Stixxay. So over-aggression there.
Weird flex,
for sure. If he lands the hook, they kill Stixxay. But then here was the bigger outplay. So it's dodging out of the first Akali damage, and then stop-watching the R as well, locking him down in turret right at the end. That really gets the Sona off the ground.
A lot of it, too, would have just been going in for your own life, because maybe he gets the perfect execution and runs to the bot side, but then you still have to come out through CLG's jungle. Very, very aggressive, but well played by CLG. You know, 100 Thieves obviously had an idea going in there, and it was thwarted. Coming up close to 20 minutes, that means we are going to have Baron tempting both teams, as it is still looking for a second turret to go down here, break open the map, get those wards forward, and now Amazing is going to be looking to do that on the top side with Ryu, but it turns into a fight, and the pressure is going to increase. Ruin joins the fight, now gets a Flourish Slicing Maelstrom off into this game, but he's going to go down to the hands of FakeGod, and that's the kill going over to PowerOfEvil as they quickly trade 1-for-1.
Yeah, gotta pay attention to burst thresholds in this game. PoE getting up to 2 kills now and having full Magic Pen would have the potential to start running away with things. As far as the kill trades there, with Ruin already being so far behind, they'll probably take that. But FakeGod as well, if he gets to a point where he can 1v2 comfortably, that'll be strong. Definitely a new one here for 100 Thieves, with most of their gold investment being in the GP early. 7,500 gold on the GP right now, the richest player in the game. This Infernal Drake will be critical. There's no GP on Ryu, so COD can actually get this unless Amazing tries to steal. Amazing's gonna blast cone in, try and smite, and then try and dash.
Make it happen. These are always so spicy.
Also
I love these plays. Amazing in. Ooh. Amazing out. Could be. They're still going to try to get a bit of a fight here. FakeGod's pincering from the right side. Teleport now coming in from Bang. On the hunt goes in. That's going to give everybody a little bit of speed now on the heels of CLG. They cannot get a priority target. Biofrost is easily able to break that CC and get himself to safety.
Infernal Drake, very important in a LeBlanc game, especially when you don't have people who can easily build magic resist. So really big pickup there by Wiggily with a strong smite. But 100 Thieves also trying to get map pressure off of this one.
Yeah.
Since PowerOfEvil also went topside to match Ryu earlier, 100 was able to get map pressure, and they do take the turret. So good job by them to at least get something back.
they're kind of working around CLG as well as being able to take their structures. They'll take the fight if it comes on the side of 103 Thieves, but CLG isn't really able to find who they need on the backside, and the teleports of 100 coming in. Too strong right now. Big items coming up here. Core item for Bang, another BF sword on top of that to make sure it hurts a little bit more as the ricochets are going through. And we are seeing Stixxay now start to get a little bit built up. The CLG finally have a bit of that beat to their own time as they go mid lane, but it's a cannon barrage coming down. aphromoo gets PowerOfEvil, but a quick distortion back to safety as things don't seem to be going in CLG's favor here. They have to second guess a lot of what they're doing because of 100 Thieves' advantage.
Yeah, the battle for mid lane.
Right?
Really important right here. And if, woo, even though Ruin's 0-4, he's still keeping up the pressure. Haven't seen them actually fight between FakeGod and Ruin. It's also because PowerOfEvil was shadowing right there, so actually smart for FakeGod to not try and go for Ruin. Realized LeBlanc was missing on the map, most likely.
Good eyes. Wiggily feels like he'll be safe, being able to get out with a good amount of crowd control and trickery from J4. And looking at that bot lane, we were mentioning FakeGod earlier and how he's been able to absorb pressure and do a lot. That's the same thing Ruin had to do this game. So you're getting a look at kind of what I was talking about on a player that's able to absorb but still provide for the team on the other side of the map. And we'll see if Ruin can stick to that lane and keep creating the pressure that calls FakeGod over. Unfortunately, FakeGod can ult the other side of the map. So that's the part that really has to be closed and played without discrepancy for Ruin.
Hunter's going to try and make a play here. They know they weren't seen with the sweep.
Oh boy, clear that wave as fast as possible. PowerOfEvil, as long as you can do damage with everybody. Nice Abyssal Voyage in to the crescendo.
Oh, got the
it's the 1-2 punch. Who's got the uppercut? And it's Stixxay.
Just the timing there of Biofrost to come in with the now upgraded Tahm Kench ultimate at level 11. So longer range, able to close distance and shut down side lane plays by 100 Thieves.
And look how the CLG kills are going across the map. Little hit on the PowerOfEvil. Should be able to just mimic himself out of this one. It may not even the hold ult. But 202, Wiggily, 202, PowerOfEvil, 203, Stixxay. Definitely the people you want to be quite big. If Ruin can stay safe, he doesn't need a bunch of resources right now. There's going to be mid turret going down. A flag and drag misses, which may make that a tentative engage. But it's going to be an ult for a just flag and drag, which feels pretty good for CLG.
Yeah, 100 Thieves not on the same page these last 45 seconds or so. GP and Sej ult burned for no payoff. Looked like in the top lane, Amazing thought Ryu would go in on the ultimate. He was too far away in the brush, and then the GP ultimate coming in after the turret had already fallen. Gives some cooldowns that CLG could look to try and take advantage of. They're all going to reset here, which is probably safe, but let's watch this dive one more time. Amazing does stop the LeBlanc W with his Q, but aphromoo ends up getting caught by a well-placed ult from Stixxay, which lines up the ethereal chains from PoE's LeBlanc.
A lot of follow-up here, kind of hit confirm, if you will, if something tags you, that tongue, the slows, or a chain. You're definitely getting locked up for a little bit of time. There's not much safety on the side of 100 Thieves. That's the Devour. That's the healing coming from CLG. So it looks like they have everything they need to kind of stop the bleeding here. They've already started to push back hard as 100 Thieves is no longer finding structures around CLG. CLG is right there, and 100 Thieves has to stare down the barrel each time they want to engage now. Close damage there as Ruin is joining the team a little bit more. He'll have to do some janitorial duty to FakeGod's lane in just a moment, but this is the time of the game when I think anything can happen for a team. You're spread out, you're looking for wards, and the mistakes can really start to come in.
Yep, and you have to choose between Mountain Drake and Baron control. Neither team can kill Baron extremely quickly. 100 Thieves would be slightly faster since the Sona Kench lane is actually very slow. But it's who can find that pick in the mid lane, and they go for Bang.
Nice hit there, not too much damage to follow up though. There's one onto Bang. Great job by Wiggily on the backside, but a lot of 100 Thieves has dispersed. No more damage is coming through for CLG. And with Bang staying alive, 100 Thieves has dodged, losing their marksman.
Everybody walk away.
Yeah.
That was a curious fight right there because Wiggily ended up ulting in, and with his stone plate, took about 4 people on 100 Thieves time up. I was focused on that, thinking that CLG would clean up the fight on the backside, but That also didn't happen. So some split focus there. I think CLG hasn't necessarily come online with damage yet. You think about where is it really going to come from. They have potential burst with LeBlanc Sona, but the sustained damage from Kennen is suspect with the 0-4, and it's not coming from Jarvan. So in an extended team fight, even though Sona is very strong, the damage is not.
Yowzers. Another disappointment. They can also get the save. It doesn't actually come up from aphromoo ultimate. A beautiful flash coming in. Fast fingers from PowerOfEvil.
Whew, really close right there. PoE might want to consider building towards a Banshee's Veil if fights like that with Ryu are going to get him so low in side lanes, but they're coming back for more.
This is that point we were talking about, chat, where Ryu can start to come online, or PowerOfEvil will find the kit. There it is, one onto Ryu. Chain misses, though. Remember, that's not going to be an extended shroud. He's got a little bit of time to work with, and that's going to be a kill for PowerOfEvil. That one hurts to know you almost just took that man down, and he came back and did the same.
Yeah, still an incredibly tense game. 27 minutes in, because yes, they got the kill, but they spent so much time up there that 100 Thieves has taken control of the rest of the map. 100 Thieves definitely not a 7-10 team when it comes to 27 minutes into the game at even goal. This is when 100 Thieves is actually at their most threatening, and CLG is matching them right now. It's a very good game.
Absolutely true. 100 Thieves fans are waiting and watching right now, hoping the season continues for this team. Amazing being able to come in and do amazing things. The coaching staff as well, sorting out the Academy to LCS roster to find wins on both sides. Everything is looking up for 100 Thieves here, and it is now their chance to keep it going. 3 minutes until a Mountain Drake comes up. This is the point in the game where a lot of pressure starts to fall on, and the initiations have to be perfect. We'll watch on the back of Amazing, but also Wiggily. Those are what my eyes are on as we start these fights, and we get the big plays coming in. Just make sure you're tracking Ryu and PowerOfEvil as well, so they don't get any assassinations in the fog.
Yeah, also got to track the experience that Stixxay's picked up. He's level 13. When he hits level 16 is when Sona actually gets a very substantial power spike. Her cooldowns across her entire kit get much, much lower. Remember, this is a nerfed Sona from the time where it was even more played. The AP ratio on the Q aura has gone down, which is actually substantial damage decrease, and the E movement speed AP ratio was halved. So if you notice how fast CLG is moving around the map, it's not quite what old Sona was. So a little bit easier to catch, not quite as great at chasing down kills when they see an opening, and you can see 100 Thieves able to keep CLG at bay a little bit here.
Yeah, it wasn't too much follow-up there, as you were saying. They do have to be careful here, power in numbers, and this is nice. Once you get that wave past mid, they can start denying what would be those barren breadcrumb wards that 100 Thieves has left behind them as they go through this area. It's going to be a lot of damage quickly onto this Baron. They have a good amount across the team to strike it down, but the fight is going to happen first.
Yeah, this is something that CLG was never really going to risk doing, as they actually go mid to defend the lane. The GP ult doesn't do any damage to them long term because of the Sona. But here they go, they're trying to get some poke down onto Amazing.
Imagine getting the jungler low on this play. That means he's going to be struck real hard to try and get in. PowerOfEvil gets grabbed. PowerOfEvil can't get the Zanyas down, and he will fall. That's a huge pickup. They still have Wiggily for the 50-50, but it's more of a 60-40 now when you don't have your mid laner.
Yeah, this might just be something 100 Thieves would be willing to go for, but instead they turn their eyes onto mid. They still have Sejuani ult. They do not have Sivir ult for this catch. So CLG is faster if they stay close to Sona.
What a play by 100 Thieves, encroaching into the side of CLG and finding one of their members when it was already warded out. Now they take the upper hand, and they're going to pressure CLG into a 4-man Baron.
CLG's damage is very low if they try and contest this, so 100 Thieves is fairly comfortable trying to take a fight. Let's see if they can turn it.
Got to be a big disruption. Wiggily separates himself, so he's not taking the Baron damage. Ryu from the backside is going to start pincering in, but aphromoo goes down first. Will CLG find the kills they need? Crescendo just misses as Ryu gets enough distance from the skill, and now Amazing is back in. Will the team follow up? The cavalry behind the jungler, and they are able to take down Biofrost. Both junglers still stand. Baron as well.
A very critical defense there by CLG. Taking a 4v5 there, you're really just trying to stop Baron, but the fact that they get out of it with a 1-for-1 buys them time to recover for the next play and makes the pick of PowerOfEvil end up not being rewarding for 100 Thieves. Very tense moment there, but the game stays even.
Here it is again. Let's find out how CLG did it with 4.
Yeah, aphromoo goes down at the start of this. He takes a lot of poke, but actually Ruin able to just get right on top of Afro and close him out. Meanwhile, Biofrost just buys a ton of time as Ryu tries to kill Stixxay. Stixxay jumps into Tahm Kench, flies out, ends up healing again, and then because the Tahm Kench is such high farm, 163 CS, buys enough time, ends up just being support for support.
A little bit of a back and forth there. We're only 400 gold separated here, just over 30 minutes in the game. 100 Thieves is not stopping to create their own opportunities here. It's exactly what we need to see. Every team has to be pushing to the limit because playoffs is a whole different game. The series games really mean you have to bring a variety of play in, and you cannot hesitate. Here, CLG is going to push their awards forward with no hesitation. Yeah,
an incredible stress on 100 Thieves. As we mentioned before the game, if they lose this game, their season is over. Mountain Drake began here by CLG. 100 Thieves looking to close in. Ryu could teleport in. There it is. I think we're going to see a fight.
Mountain Drake down to 3,000. That's the ultimate going down. A big miss on the Glacial Prison from Sejuani. Amazing, still wants to get in with the team. Ryu just over the wall. First ultimate. Stixxay down immediately. That's the healing that they need on the side of CLG. The DPS to now follow through and stick for 100 Thieves. aphromoo getting in with the team, but they cannot get a lockdown onto PowerOfEvil. Bang and the rest are now going to push down the mid wave as that was a solo take by FakeGod on the Dragon. 100 Thieves can now start to multitask.
Beautiful flank by Ryu, and that's what we've been talking about, Rivet, in terms of burst thresholds. Ryu got a stun before Stixxay could activate his Seraph Shield, so he never got to defend himself. And again, a 4v5, this time without the Sona, if CLG still wants to try and contest.
Ruin with an ultimate that's not going to hit anybody. It makes him feel better. Wigglily's just over the wall. Gonna be a big one. That's the parry going over to PoE. CounterLogic Gaming now have to strike back immediately, but they have to get out. Unfortunately, 100 Thieves are able to get the kills. They deplete the health bars of CLG, and they stand 5 tall, but they have to push waves. Nothing's in position. How much can they grab?
100 Thieves trying to keep composure where their season may have just been stolen away by PowerOfEvil, but they do have the man advantage. They teleport in. They're trying to push 5 strong in a 5v3.
An inhibitor crack would be huge. You have 30 seconds on the 2 members that fell during the Baron. If you get the super minions to be in your favor, it's gigantic. Jab! They're pushing hard in their positioning.
And CLG does not have high damage here this whole game. 100 Thieves looking to win. They missed
the Sejal. This is absolutely insane. Sejal misses. They're on the Stixxay. They're trying to break down the sustain. The turret's going to go down. One more Nexus turret and then the Nexus. 100 Thieves are looking to stay alive, but they're on the Iron Lung. Will they get pushed out of the base? 10 to 10, 33 minutes in, and they may have to try one more time.
PoE and Ruin have teleport. Rib Biofrost has Tahm Kench ultimate.
They're going to mid.
If they wipe them here, 100 Thieves would lose.
PowerOfEvil circling around the right side, thinking where the wards would not be for 100 Thieves, knowing where the members are of 100 Thieves. That's one down. Bang now has 50 seconds on the respawn. Ryu's going to fall. It was so close, hanging by a thread. And CLG have wrapped it back up in their favor. The base is still broken open. This fight's gonna go a long time. We have to worry about what aphromoo is gonna come in and do now. How long do these fights go? FakeGod obviously going down here in a second as CLG buy themselves time and still look for that buy.
And because 100 Thieves scattered enough, CLG can't use their Baron buff to push for an inhib mid lane. That was pretty sweet, Riv.
That was insane.
You basically can't practice for moments like that. So it all comes down to experience and in-the-moment decision-making. 100 Thieves had the Baron stolen, but got the kills, and they thought, hey, let's just go for it. But they took enough poke down the stretch that the revive timers came in, and we're gonna watch hopefully this whole thing again. So, Baron steal. Jarvan and LeBlanc have a bunch of damage. Let's watch it. It evaporates from 1,000 to 77. I do not blame Amazing for getting out stolen there by CLG. But as they go in, since it was a 45 and they don't have damage, 100 Thieves does the right thing and gets the kills. Then that whole crazy series of events happen. When the dust settles, it's an inhibitor dead mid. It's no Nexus turrets left. But 100 Thieves doesn't have teleports. They don't have the Tahm Kench. The backdoor is very difficult for them. And CLG is just grouping up around that Sona, who is starting to reach the power spike of level 16. but it might not matter with how much damage Ryu is doing. If he keeps getting on Stixxay, that could be the game decider.
Absolutely. He keeps finding ways to the backside. You can see on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, 2.5 minutes until that inhib comes back up. That gates a bit of what CLG wants to do, so nobody squeaks by. I don't think we are going to get 100 Thieves backdoor. The Tahm Kench is in the hands of CLG, but it is a bit of a pause button here they have to work with. They've taken the time to ward up the jungle, but what a knife's edge the game is now balanced on here. CLG, just a moment ago, was mid-mid basically with 100 Thieves. Now their base is completely open.
Yeah, it's kind of using this Baron buff to wait for their inhibitor to respawn and then start playing around the Elder Drake. But CLG not able to get deep vision, which is really what they need because the flanks have been what wins it.
Crazy.
For 100 Thieves. This first Akali of the split for Ryu has been coming in so clutch. Even though he's just 3-4-2, 2 of those kills that he got on a Stixxay have been game changers.
And he doesn't really have any assassins down the line anyways for what has been played this split. We know he has an assassin's repertoire. You know, there's Zed in there maybe for some few plays we remember historically, but it's great to see Ryu back on one
Infamous
of these
Zed.
Infamous Zed, yes. That Ryu is able to get back into the assassination form, and you see him creating his own plays here that are completely helping the team stay on top. Here we are to Elder. 100 Thieves now with 2 Drakes under their belt to get multiplied by this damage. And we're going to see them pick it up. No contest from CLG as they stay grouped in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, this is well done by 100 Thieves, going straight for it. It's because they kept the mid wave so pressured. They never let CLG get deep vision, so CLG never had the safety to get in. Something that comes with experience, being able to secure those very critical late game objectives without contest. Coming straight after getting Baron stolen away, an objective they didn't have time to set up in such a manner, and actually did go for the risk, because if 100 Thieves gets that Baron, the game is actually already over. So
there's 0 wave clear on the side of CLG.
Yeah, maintaining that composure, so critical. And the inhibitor up in 15 seconds. If 100 Thieves wants to try and just push, remember, they don't actually need Baron minions to make this push. The minions don't matter in terms of tanking turrets because there are no turrets. So 100 Thieves wants to just push straight up mid lane and maybe go for an end if they can get any type of fight win.
It's almost like Biofrost needs a level 3 belly upgrade for one more member. Get more teleports back there. They need an utmost in a crazy situation to get themselves into that position. 1.5 minutes left onto the Elder Drake. And it looks like 100 Thieves getting a little split up here. Amazing's not the first one they want to engage on, so they can be a little lackadaisical about that situation, but you have to be careful. Any wrong move here will mean the other side of the map for CLG.
But Elder Drake is no joke. I almost think 100 Thieves wants this fight.
Biofrost gets the cleanse out on Sealed Spellbook, change back over to Flash and Heal so he can get help for his team. Stixxay almost able to take down Ryu with the help of PowerOfEvil as they're getting chased into their base. aphromoo now sunken in, looking to dive and grab Bio, but they say inhibitor.
Rib, they can get this inhibitor. Ryu will teleport back in. The game could be decided here.
Careful, they're getting pinched in though. They gotta go through the base gate. Teleport's gonna come in from Ryu onto the minion. That's gonna be the inhibitor down. Nexus is now open with 40 minutes on the clock.
Oh, Pyke's dead!
Do they take it? Ruin goes into the slicing maelstrom. That's gonna be a big hit going into the bang. Do they stop it from going down? Ryu can't make another kill. Oh, it's gonna be 2 big ones. Ryu comes up huge, but it's a little too late for the team to get to the Nexus, and CLG continues to hold on somehow.
Baron is also up right now. 3 dead for 100 Thieves. They could try and 2-man it, or they could try and backdoor, but the unfortunate thing for them is they are outnumbered here. Jarvan, LeBlanc, and TK still alive, but with so much uncertainty in how slow either Baron would be, it might just be pushing up mid and resetting.
Trying to see what they have here in terms. We haven't even checked out Gangplank, leaves Death's Daughter and the Raised Morales. We get back into the fight.
aphromoo just gets chunked out by, I think, 2 Qs from LeBlanc and a Lich Bane from Sona. And if Ryu doesn't sit right in his shroud, go right through at a sliver of health to pick up a double kill, game's over. Because that would be 5 people on CLG able to push up mid, hold 2 back, push with 3. Either way, we get to continue. Still just 2,000 gold. Stixxay has hit level 16, but he just keeps getting one shot, so it almost doesn't matter what his cooldowns are. And an Infinity Edge picked up for Ruin. He is the AD carry now, looking to bring sustained damage throughout a fight.
Yep. You're going to get all that AP from Stixxay. Ruin's huge, especially when he comes out of that lightning rush. You get the advanced attack speed, which is gigantic, and you just keep applying your passive everywhere, become a big stun bot and a split pusher. Where are they going to go, though? Lotta is just going to be around that Baron. It's going to be one last fight, and it's going to have to be perfect smites coming out of the junglers right now. Wiggily is 17. It matters. More true damage in that smite. It'll probably be a 17 for Amazing before we get to that point, as they're now sharing CS around the map. 425 CS for Bang as he continues to farm. Get at that 500 Sivir point, and they'll be all right.
Kill Afro.
Oh, almost down to below 100 HP there. He is going to get that passive back up.
That's a lot of gray health, let me tell you, because he was about an auto attack from death right there.
He's really lucky
close.
It doesn't charge up like Biofrost. Tahm Kench gray health. Ruin gets caught up. Ruin doesn't have Azanias in the AD build. 100 Thieves now have a dead line down the mid side. Will he be able to get it? Nice crescendo going over to Bang. Bang gets a quick silver sash from his Mercurial Scimitar. Wiggly's in a bad spot. 100 Thieves are closing in on the game. This looks like the one they need to get to the Nexus turret, but Bang's gonna take one more shot. Keeps himself alive. Beautifully done. Rest of CLG is headed towards the base. Counterlogic Gaming has a buy in their eyes, but 100 Thieves has a season staying alive right behind him as they're going for the Nexus quite soon.
Gotta keep these members alive. It is 3v5. 100 just have to take it slow to keep their season alive. PoE wants to kill.
He missed the distortion, didn't follow up with the chain damage, and now he's going to be tagged on. They found him. That's a kill going over to aphromoo. 100 Thieves doing what many thought could not be done. They are going to get one kill in the Stixxay as he comes out of Zanya's. 100 Thieves are staying very much alive in the summer split of the LCS, and they take down Counterlogic Gaming.
With their backs completely against the wall, 100 Thieves pulls it back to keep their season alive.
And it feels better as well for the Thieves, for the fans, that it wasn't their Nexus that went down first. It was Thieves in command from mid-game on. A bit of a here and there, but you might get that when you try to end the game on that split-second decision. Still, they find their way back to home plate, and what a play. They can breathe a sigh of relief for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and such a back-and-forth game. Pick or be picked. Just that last sequence, PoE taking aphromoo down to what felt like sub 100 health, Afro getting away. 10 seconds later, they get the pick onto Ruin, and at that moment, CLG kind of knew, well, it's going to be 5v4. We got to go for something. We got to get a pick right away. 100 Thieves, though, with so many really difficult map-based decisions, getting Baron stolen away, securing Elder, all these super close things. Anything going a little bit more wrong for 100 Thieves means their season is over. Now it's still alive, and it also means the buy chance for C9 is alive.
Yes.
CLG didn't secure it there, so we're going to have that tiebreaker at the end of the day as well.
Absolutely, and looking at that, I love what you said during the game was that the players don't get the chance to play in that scenario a lot. So everything you're seeing is just thought of in the moment, right? You don't practice those games that long, those fights.
Yeah.
You are on the edge of your seat the whole time.
And that's where experience does come in clutch. aphromoo and 100 Thieves have usually won in those situations. Even if it looks really close every time, they come out on top once again.
Absolutely. So right now, we're going to send it down to the Tigress, who is ready with the victorious support.
I gotta say, my heart is pumping. I'm sure everyone in the audience. But nonetheless, you seem as calm, cool, and collected as ever. And really around that Baron play where it was looking out of your hands after it got stolen, but bringing it back together. So walk us through what was going on from your head from that point and on.
I think this week definitely had to play a lot more aggressive. So you see all of us walking up, dying a lot, trying to push them out. And I think that type of confidence definitely helps us turn around situations such as the Baron you were talking about. So yeah, when we're doing the Baron, I mean, we lost to the Baron, and it was like, oh! And I'm pretty sure it was Aaron who was screaming, just fucking go, and kill these guys. And so we definitely turned it around right there, got 2 kills off that, and their comp really couldn't push down mid and teamfight us too well. I think they picked a LeBlanc for picks and stuff like that, so it was really hard for them to just come into us and take what they wanted.
And I know you have commented in the past on the fact that it's really a team collective effort when it comes to comms and making these decisions, but it's still a lot to balance when thinking about the big picture, the fact that this means more tiebreakers, but also taking it one game at a time. So how do you balance that aspect?
Well, we're going to be here for a long time today, see how it goes. Definitely stressful, but definitely just got to come out swinging like we did this game.
And that's the thing, all of the 100 Thieves fans out there, they do have a long day ahead to cheer you on. So any advice for them to keep the energy up with you to help you in these games?
Keep streaming, guys. It's great.
I'm loving the energy here in the audience, and I'm sure it's the same for everybody watching at home. But to break it on down from that amazing game, let's send it back over to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you. I hear that, Tigris. We're going to need the energy because 100 Thieves just guaranteed us 3 tiebreakers at the end of the day with the unexpected victory here over Counter Logic Gaming.
They freaking did it. 100 Thieves actually found the way to win the game, even with the Baron being stolen. And I think the biggest thing was that the most unusual members of the team were the ones to step up. Ryu had such a phenomenal Akali that kind of overshadowed everything else that the Thieves were doing.
Yeah, there was a period of time where you looked at the scoreline and you were surprised that the most impactful player for 100 Thieves was him when he was like 3-4-2. But he was making all the critical plays. The draft itself for me was a big head scratcher on the side of CLG. I think that they kind of just got away from themselves because we've heard them say a lot that they're very lane focused in their drafting priorities. And I think that's kind of what happened here. And you're left with this comp that's all magic damage. It kind of needs to 1-3-1 against 100 Thieves, but then Sona wants to be a team fighter. Tahm Kench can collapse on side lanes, but you don't want to leave Sona alone. It's like this Frankenstein comp that can do a lot of things, but it doesn't actually do any of them well.
I think specifically the odd thing is that you really want to be kind of poking and prodding with the Sona and just resetting your cooldowns and out-sustaining your opponents, but then champions like Kennen don't really do that. They want to get in there and just evaporate somebody right away or get killed instantly, which happened multiple times for both scenarios. So it left them in a really precarious position where they were not able to team fight. And we heard from aphromoo thinking, like, they can't fight us at all. One barrel, Kennen is out. He has no defensive tools.
Right, and they went with the AD Kennen too. So it's not even to go in and blow someone up with LeBlanc. They don't want to group up at all because the way they say they solve their we're all AP issue is like, well, build AD on Kennen. But now he's not a
now
good
he can't team fight.
Yeah, so it's like you're just trying to stitch up the problems with this comp. The one thing that was in their favor was 100 Thieves had a good comp to punish it, but it was high execution with Pyke and Akali.
Yeah, without a doubt. I do think, as confirmed by aphromoo, that the LeBlanc was largely taken looking for picks. You cite the need or the desire for strong lanes, but ultimately that what was left to the wayside then was how the 5-man unit would ultimately navigate the mid to late game for CLG. And we'll get into some replays that painfully show that in the back and forth between the two squads. But before we get there, we got to talk about the top lane action that was taking place, because not necessarily typical of the 100 Thieves squad with FakeGod in the top lane. Amazing does opt to go up there and punish Ruin.
And it's really important, too, against the AD Kennen for the GP, the fact that you're able to get ahead of him and
That's
keep him
a
under
really
turn.
nice triple barrel.
Yeah, I mean, FakeGod has a really good laning phase to make sure that he is not going to fall to this 1-3-1 that CLG's comp wants to do. That's the most important thing when fighting against 1-3-1 is shut it down before it ever gets off the
Right,
ground.
it could have all broken there if Kennen actually got out to the lead.
Yeah, exactly. And for the most part, CLG did respond well. They did catch 100 Thieves making mistakes like overextending for these kills here. But that's more trying to turn the game back even more so than it is generating their own leads. If you watch all these replays, almost all of them are 100 Thieves plays, whether they're good or bad.
Exactly. There you see, again, a Tahm Kench ult coming in at the end of that replay, all very reactive from the side of CLG trying to grab things back. And again, it's not like CLG didn't, pilot their comp well. It's more, I still am unsure how this comp was ever intending to win against what 100 Thieves has drafted. All that said, 100 Thieves did a lot right. But I think there are still concerns around this team and the cleanliness with which they win games, because through the mid-game, there were a number of individual mistakes. Here's one, getting caught out in the 1v2, where you should probably be the ones punishing the Sona.
It's one mistake that actually leads to more mistakes that makes it that much worse. Because, yeah, one person oversteps, all right, you had a little blunder, but then somebody else is trying to clean up your own mess, and they slip up on the banana peel, fall down.
banana peel.
Oh, God, the deadliest banana peel. Oh, here's another one.
Again, we show this only to illustrate that while 100 Thieves has had a very consistent upward trajectory throughout the split, there is still a lot of work to be done as they are looking for just maybe that 6th place positioning in playoffs, and they will only be playing opponents who are higher ranked from them from that point on.
But it makes it so hype now when you got so many teams tied up. And 100 Thieves, remember 2 weeks ago, they were the biggest dark horse. Every team was saying, you got to watch out for 100 Thieves. And nobody else was really looking at teams like Clutch or Golden Guardians or Optic as potentially struggling in the playoff race. And now we have 4 teams that are looking to actually get in there. That really puts a very different light when we could have a world where Optic and Golden Guardians actually end up missing out.
Yeah, end of the day is going to be very exciting. I do want to dive deep into one of the final replays, final moments of the game, if only to illustrate the point you were making, Mark, about the difficulty of navigating these late-game team fights for CLG.
And especially Ryu. He had a really good time finding flanks. This time he actually finds Stixxay. He almost killed him earlier in the fight, this time with no stopwatch available. He does kill him. That sets up the Baron play. But this is once again, you know, the 100 Thieves problem.
Like,
where,
Ruin can't do anything there.
Yeah, Rune can't do anything. Here, it's a really nice smite combination. This is actually pretty hard to defend against, comboing the smite with the LeBlanc.
Unfortunately, LeBlanc fat fingers the R after taking the W out, ends up back in the pit to die, losing that Baron buff.
But that led to the most aggressive 100 Thieves play we've seen all split long.
This attempt to end.
Yeah, choosing to end against Baroned up minions as well. So I was very surprised to see that they actually got such a strong wind and of confidence from that play, thinking this is our time. And that gave me a lot more to hope for the 100 Thieves team moving into the tiebreakers that we're sure to have.
Yeah, exactly. They made mistakes this game, but that did not make them shy to keep trying to make plays. Losing a Baron buff on a smite and then going, we'll still try and end the game is what you want to see for a team fighting their way into playoffs here. And Ryu, like, maybe I can find the back door. Like, they just kept poking and prodding at CLG, who eventually fell apart.
And that was the best look for Counter Logic Gaming at the end or in the late game, and it was simply because everything was so disjointed on the side of 100 Thieves. That's where their comp could shine, picking people off individually in different areas. All for naught, though, because after the respawns, 100 Thieves would walk it back down as a team, pick up the Elder Drake, find their fight, and take the win. Here's your standings update, though, as we look towards the postseason. Of course, as we mentioned, we will get 3 tiebreakers at the end of the day. One between Cloud9 and Counter Logic Gaming, and then between, we have options. We have a 3-way tie at the end is still to be determined, and so we'll have to see what happens in our 4th game of the day.
Right. Optic and 100 Thieves are 100% playing in the tiebreaker. The question is, the loser of the Clutch Gaming versus Golden Guardians will be the 3rd team in the tiebreaker, I believe, and hopefully...
It'll only be a 2-game tiebreaker, though, even though it's involving 3
I've been
teams.
waiting all day for this match, the Clutch versus Golden Guardians, because that one is going to be neck and neck. Because you've seen these teams surge. 100 Thieves thinking that we really need to step up. Clutch thinking the same thing. Golden Guardians disappointed after their loss yesterday. We're going to see these 2 teams really bring out the best of each other.
That's Game 4. We got to get through TSM versus Team Liquid next up in Game 3. We'll see who comes out on top after this.
Probably's had a good switch around for the team recently. As top lane hits, and this would be good for the coach.
Nice. Got him! Nice.
Oh, look out. Whoa, there's the Devour coming up. Ryu could go for the execution. What a Zanyas. Is it going to be enough? Ryu takes another shot. That means he's going to be struck real hard to try and get in. PowerOfEvil gets grabbed. PowerOfEvil can't get the Zanyas down, and he will fall.
4-1. Oh, they got it. Tom Kench. We gotta fight.
Ruin goes into the slicing maelstrom. That's going to be a big hit going into the bang. Do they stop it from going down? Ryu can't make another kill. Oh, it's going to be 2 big ones.
I can look. Got her. Let's go. Get it. No flash mode. He's not. No flash mode. Hey! That's how we do it.
A great product can define the present, but it takes the unprecedented to define the future. To go beyond what's next and change the world of gaming. To make history, break ground, and force the universe to take notice. The world's most powerful and most upgradable gaming laptop with Intel Core processors. The Area 51M defines the future of gaming.